for these conditions.
Very impressive. They are still close. As we're watching, you know, it's again all about boat handling and keeping your boat upright, moving forward. It's easy to stall out. You can watch these mainsails just flogging, I'm sorry, and the sails luffing, if you will. They're just not full all the time. They're trying to feather them up, but there goes Wilson into attack. They're the giveaway boat on port. Not able to cross in front, so they're tacking again, but they come over to the wall. They couldn't hit the wall, so they went back. There goes Buckley tacking. It's a close race. Watch Wilson as they get to the wall. Oh, penalty on blue, tacking too close. So we have a penalty here, out here. That's tacking too close. Wilson was on port, went towards Buckley, and waited too long before they came back. But the penalty flag has gone down, so that's odd. It was green. You know what? We've had trouble with this all week, haven't we, Dobbs? The blue and the green look so similar.
Yeah, and actually, I've been meaning to tell the organizers about that, Annie, but some of these umpire flags that are green actually have a white stripe through them, and that's to distinguish them from the blue flag. So depending on the tint of your sunglasses, blue can look green. But we'll try to correct that on that umpire boat. Meanwhile, who's up next?
Looks like it is Hardesty versus Jury. And Hardesty over here on boat number 7. Jury.
6 and 8. Actually, I'll tell you what. Why don't we throw it over to Scotty Dixon, and he can tell us what's going on here with the Canfield Tiller pre-start. Is that okay?
Yep.
Scotty, you there, mate? Okay, we've got Scotty Dixon out there in the pre-start area in the protection of the protector. Scotty, tell us what you see there in that pre-start.
Well, the two boats came almost planing together on opposite jibes for the first cross, running deep, and it was Will Tiller on starboard and Taylor Canfield on port. And from our view, Canfield wasn't able to cross, and he jibed late, and Tiller put his bow within inches of Taylor Canfield, and as Canfield jibed to keep clear, so from our view, Canfield didn't keep clear, but the umpires green flagged it, so I suspect it might have been maybe the umpires weren't quite in a position to see what we saw. We were stationary and had a great view, but right now it's Will Tiller to leeward. Taylor Canfield trying to sail over the top. There's a luff from Tiller.
We don't have today's.
It was and the bows come down again. There's a flag from Tiller, but Taylor Canfield going over the top. And Tiller actually turning around, talking to the umpires, saying, what's going on?
But I can't find that.
That's why I always want to cut it.
And there it is. It's a blue flag, so penalty to Taylor Canfield. I think we've got about 1:45 to go now. So, yeah, Taylor Canfield already been beaten up by Laurie Jury this morning quite convincingly, and now Will Tiller having a dig at Canfield, US Virgin Islands entry.
Well, Scotty, maybe he's paying the price for a little bit of over-aggression in these conditions, eh?
No, I don't think so. I think Tiller's going to be right on the boat at the start. We've got about 30 seconds to go now, and maybe you can see the transit there, Dobbs.
Yeah, copy that. Annie, they're getting close. How much time left?
We have 8 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There they go. So Canfield on our right, number 6, and that's Tiller on the left. But as Scotty pointed out, there is a blue flag. Canfield being a little too aggressive, got a penalty already. Long race, though, they don't have to do that penalty until the very end. If they get so far ahead, they'll be allowed to do a circle earlier and still keep the lead. So it all depends on how they go on the downwind, usually.
Well, Annie, it's wet and wild out here. I like how Will Tiller looks. He's positioned up to windward of Taylor Canfield. They're both now coming into the end of the wall at the end of Navy Pier. Canfield is going to have to ask for room to tack. He's looking over his shoulder now. Now the normal move here is to give an arm wave if he needs room. Nope, he's just eking it around the corner. So Taylor Canfield now off the wall. He's going to have to duck Will Tiller.
That's a big
ducking
duck.
in these conditions is gnarly.
Well, you want to make sure that you have the boom bang off, right? We found that out yesterday with one of the boats that crashed, and they did a nice job ducking. It wasn't too big of a duck. They want to get back out to the right. Meanwhile, over here on the starting line.
Yeah, we've got Bill Hardesty.
Boat number 7.
Right, he's up against Anna. Is that Anna? No,
Jury,
sorry, Laurie Jury.
Boat number 5.
So there's a Yankee flag up from Laurie Jury. He may have thought that Billy Hardesty put the boat in too close. Umpires green flag that one, but now they're coming back at it.
Here they come on starboard, right away boat number 5, 7 having to keep clear. And as they head up, Jury goes back. This is good match racing here. They are in control. They're going back, and watch as Hardesty turns back, Jury will turn back and attack him again. They're trying to push him here over to the left, or at the very least, keep him above the starting line.
Well, almost looks like Billy's going to be able to get around the bow of Laurie Jury. There he goes. So he's got his get-out-of-jail-free card.
Not yet.
Well, no, he's got to ease the main, try to get over the Kiwis.
There is that pick over there.
Yeah, he's got the pick. If he hits the mark, that has no consequence for any penalties, but he certainly doesn't want to tangle up in it.
Jury's still in control. Watch him come back. He's going to be on starboard. If Hardesty tries to jibe or tack, Jury's going to try to prevent that. Okay, Hardesty trying to get back down to the starting line. We have 2 minutes to the start now. Here they go. And Hardesty trying to jibe and cross in front of him, but not able to do it. Look at Jury just racing down here and preventing him from jibing. Hardesty is in big trouble. Scotty?
So, Scotty, what do we got over there?
140.
Pretty wet and wild pre-start. They don't seem to know that these conditions might have a little more prudence. They're really throwing the boats around.
Oh, that's exactly what I'm seeing, Dobbs. Laurie Jury just having an absolute ball in these conditions this morning, throwing the boat around, really in control, being quite aggressive, and so far just controlled Bill Hardesty for the entire pre-start. There's 1:15 to go, and Bill Hardesty still with a lot of work, so he's going through all the tricks in the playbook, and now he's going for the pin end of the starting line, and that one's actually worked for him, so Jury had to tack away. So nice job by Bill Hardesty. He tried a left hook, he tried a right haymaker, and he tried the jab. None of that was working, so yeah, he just kept going through the playlist, and so now Jury's got a little bit of work to do. Jury has to be able to get his jibe in, and Hardesty's just surfed right across to him. 33 seconds to go now, so it looks like Hardesty's going to start to windward. Jury just waiting for him. But one thing we've already noticed this morning, Dobbs, is there are boats, there are teams that are clearly trimming the boats out quite well, sailing fast in these conditions, and then there are those that are struggling a little bit, and certainly Will Tiller and Laurie Jury have been two of the teams that have been sailing very fast, and I would expect the same from Bill Hardesty.
Well, thanks for that report, Scotty. That's certainly paints the picture out here. Who would you give that star to, Annie?
I'd give that to Hardesty's over there on the right, but you know, it's pretty even actually. I think they both got off the line fine and with good clean air, so either one.
But do you think Laurie Jury can tack and cross Bill Hardesty?
Negative. Negative on that one. Coming up next, we have right in front of us Sehested. That's the Dane. He's been doing a great job in all conditions. Let's see how it goes today. He's racing on boat number 1 against Anna Tunnicliffe on boat number 3. Sometimes I like to call her Anacliff. Just makes it faster. Anyway, the all-female team over there by the rocks is preparing to tack, and we have, it looks like about 4 minutes. They're entering now. Anna Tunnicliff's team late. Sehested with a great start. They'll be able to cross downwind in front of Anna's team and get over to the right side, and no problem. They should be able to get there, no problem. They're staying deep until they're sure that they can get over there. Right now, though, the game is one will continue to go on, cross in front of number 3, and 3 will jibe right behind him, getting into the controlling position. Oh, he's heading up first. He was able to cross in front of her, and he's tacking into starboard or the controlling position and trying to get behind her.
Well, that's an example, Annie, of the price you pay for being late at your entry is your opponent who comes in from the left, who's initially burdened, has the opportunity to pass clear, and that's just what they've done.
Yeah, you know, the boat that's entering from the starboard, the only real thing that keeps them from entering a little later perhaps is the anchor line on the committee boat, but in these conditions it's not an issue at all. And that starting line is awfully short for these conditions too. I mean, it probably takes them, if they're going full speed, 10 seconds to go across that whole line. So timing is very, very crucial.
So it looks like Mike Buckley taking the win over Don Wilson. Buckley just finishing downwind without spinnakers. In boat number 2, Don Wilson over there in boat number 4 just jibed. So that's a big win for Mike Buckley to stay alive. Now, he's pretty deep in the standings here. And remember, folks, that it's only the top 4 that are going to advance to the semifinals.
That's correct. And Wilson's had some bad breaks today. He raced in the first race against Hardesty. They had their jib wrapped around the forestay when they came around the bottom mark. They had to actually take it all the way down to fix it. Over there by the breakwater, again, we have boat number 3 and, Tunnicliff on boat number 3 and Sehested the Danes on boat number 1. Looks like about 1:50 left, 1:45 to this start, so lots of time before this last start in flight number 5.
Scotty Dixon, you're out there. Can you tell us what's going on with Will Tiller and Canfield? We can't quite see them from where we are.
Okay, Dobbs, here the match I was looking at was Jury Hardesty, and Jury started to leeward, and to my eyes, trimmed very well, sailing quick, trimmed hard, hiking hard, and but wasn't quite able to get far enough ahead to cross Hardesty. They went around the end of the pier, went on a tour of downtown Chicago, went further in than anybody's gone before, and then it was the port starboard. Jury had to tack back to starboard, but it looks like Bill Hardesty with a narrow lead going into the first mark. Meanwhile, we've got the Tunnicliff and Shyster match, and they've got 37 seconds to go, and it looks like Tunnicliff is pushing the Danes pretty hard. She's pushing them very hard.
25
28 seconds. The Danes are clearly early, so I'm waiting for a flag. I'm waiting for some action to happen here. Only 18 seconds to go. There's the tack by the Danes. So they're out of jail. Over to you guys.
It is a blue flag.
Well, thanks for that, Scotty. Yeah, in fact, Sehested tacked too close, has earned himself a blue flag. So good on Anna Tunnicliff pushing the Danes. That's really, really a big reversal here.
It is, and that was a great start by Anna as well, not only tactically, but good speed off the starting line. Sehested had to tack to come back, so slow going into. You look at his mainsail, boat number 1, it's just ragging. I think we have a big puff of wind, but looking up the course, there is something going on. Look out there, Dobbs.
So, Scotty Dixon, can you tell us what's going on there with Hardesty? They've got a luffing match going over by the wall.
Yeah, That's right, Dobbs. The thing on the upwind leg, they wanted to go on a tour of downtown Chicago, going all the way into the wharves, and the downwind, they've decided to go check out the breakwall, see what the surf's like. And it's just amazing out here, the waves crashing over the top. And there's the two jives. Someone's wiping out. It's boat number 7. That's Hardesty. So is Hardesty in control, I think, but Jury was able to get his jibe in, and when they Somo jibed, Hardesty, and remember, and there's a luff by Jury. He's coming up. Hardesty trying to keep clear. There's a flag by Jury. Hardesty's broken the overlap. Let's see what the umpires pull up. They're reaching for a flag. They're talking about it, and Jury waving his flag again. So there it is, blue flag. So penalty Hardesty. So Jury's just all over Hardesty like white on rice out here. Great conditions, so there'll be more. Double blue, so it's a second penalty for Hardesty, and so he goes straight into his circle, and Laurie Jury cruising into the bottom mark for the second upwind, Dobbs.
Well, I think that was amazing. I think Billy can't be happy with those calls. If we can, we'll try to get the umpires of the match into the PA system here to listen to that. But thanks very much, Annie. That unbelievable action, eh?
That was unbelievable. They don't need the Spinnakers to have this amazing action out here, and luckily they didn't go all the way to the wall. But lots and lots of luffing by Jury, and great boat handling. Hardesty obviously not keeping clear enough, and the double penalty is probably because they wanted them to do their penalty right then and there. That's one way to do it. They can also raise a red flag with that blue flag and make him do it, or they felt that twice he didn't respond quickly enough. And just getting back to the race that we watched finish, Tiller did beat Canfield. Go ahead, Dobbs.
Yeah, no, that's a bit surprising. You know, Taylor Canfield lost in the what was that? Flight 4. Yes, he lost Flight 4, the first action that we had out here today on that Spinnaker broach. As I said earlier, I think if anybody out here would be able to handle these conditions, it would be Taylor Canfield. He won the last event. He's certainly had to be favored amongst these, and he's not having a good day so far.
No, he's not. You know, who knows where he went last night. But actually, I'm thinking that they all probably went to bed pretty early, getting up, knowing that the forecast was being forecast 20 to 30 knots, and we are seeing a solid 25, don't you think?
It certainly is, and Taylor last night was actually lobbying to have full mains for today.
Really?
Oh yeah, because he knew how to set the boat up and felt very confident that a full main would be the right rig for him. Obviously, lobbying a position that it was going to favor him. But I tell you what, Annie, if you mind taking it, I'm going to try to check in with Scotty Dixon. He can give us some narrative action from what's going on out the track.
Okay, well, we have two more groups trying to finish. That's Hardesty and Jury. And as we saw, Hardesty got a double blue flag with that luffing match. Jury doing a fine job of luffing him up. Hardesty had a double blue, had to take one of the penalties immediately, putting him behind Jury. But it's still a long race, and if they can catch up, they're going to have another opportunity to pass downwind. Rounding the top mark, I can't see who that is. Our guess is, actually, I think I see a number 3, and that would be Tunnicliffe.
Well, Scotty Dixon, you're out there on the water in the Protector, just coming around the top mark. Looked like some pretty close action.
Yeah, fantastic action out here this morning, Dobbs. I think every match has either been very close or had some kind of thrills and spills involved. So it's still no Spinnakers. The boats have reefed mainsails, and it looks like Anna Tunnicliffe is leading the Danish skipper.
And he still has a flag?
Nikolai Sjested. But Sjested coming on strong, so and there's a blue flag. Now that was against the Danes in the pre-start. Anna Tunnicliffe did a great job in the pre-start, and
you know, I see the...
So stand by, we're just having chase boat wars out here as well, so we might need some flags of our own. But they're getting out towards what I would call, it's got to be a 17 overlap. I would expect to see a second blue flag here any second, because Sjöstedt, I'm sure, has a 17 overlap. They've got to be past the ley line, and I don't understand. No, it's a green flag. Okay, so it was a green flag. The umpires determining that they hadn't gone too far, which under these conditions surprises me. I mean, proper course is almost wing and wing, and sure enough, Sjöstedt just reaches over the top after the jibe. Lead change. He's still carrying a penalty, but great action out here, Dobbs.
Well, Scotty, those Rule 17s, for those that aren't match race sailors or experts in the rules, it's a proper course call. It means that a boat that's overlapped a certain way has to turn. He has to turn back to the mark. That's always tough for the umpires. Do you think that they maybe waited a little long on that, Scotty?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't copy your last, Dobbs, but Nikolai Sjöstedt rounding the mark very narrowly ahead of Anna Tunnicliffe. Anna kind of locked into leeward there. She must be sailing pretty quick or something. Here's the tack, and man, I apologise. We have to have eyes in all directions out here because there's so much going on. The chase boats are all manoeuvring at high speed, and we're just trying to keep ourselves intact. But it's Tunnicliffe is now tacked onto port, and Nikolai Sjöstedt is covering. And in the meantime, it's Laurie Jury cruising into the finish for an easy victory over Bill Hardesty, who is still carrying an outstanding penalty. Dobbs.
Well, copy that, Scotty. Thanks very much. Yeah, go, Annie.
Lots of penalties out here, as we're seeing. Still tons of action, even with all this breeze. And if we go back to what happened on that downwind, as far as the looking for a penalty, Anna trying to get the umpires to say that they've taken them past ley line. As you were mentioning, Rule 17, what it means is that if you've come from behind, which is exactly what happened, Anna was ahead, Sjöstedt had beautiful speed coming downwind, and it looked from my angle that her boom vang wasn't quite as tight as his, trying to spill some of the air, and he was just flying down behind her, a little bit of better sail trim. So when he caught her, he came from behind, and he has no rights to luff her. But at some point, they have to jibe for the finish line or for proper course. And if they don't do that, then the other boat just keeps raising their flag, keeps making the call. We heard lots and lots of whistles. We kept hearing that. We couldn't see the flags, but we could hear the whistles. And that was exactly what was happening. She was trying to get the umpire. And we actually saw the blue flag come up halfway. So they were ready to make the call. I believe that Sjöstedt saw that flag start to go up and turned immediately. And if he didn't, then his timing was perfect because he was probably 1 second away from getting another penalty. But he still has an outstanding penalty. He's going to need some room to be able to take that. So Anna's goal right now to just stay close to him and stay out of trouble. Dobbs?
Well, thanks for that explanation. I'll tell you, Rule 17 is complicated enough for those that sail. For those that don't sail, it must truly be arcane. There have been suggestions, actually, in the high-level events on the World Match Race Tour and the America's Cup to actually do away with that rule. So, anyway, we're looking at this big rain squall that's come down through the area. The breeze has kicked up another couple of notches with that squall. Anna Tunnicliffe and Nikolai Sjöstedt up there on the right-hand side of the track. They are close to ley line, it looks like. It's very, very dramatic out here. For those that might be listening in or can't see any of this action, there's big waves that are going over the outer break wall, providing just a very stunning and exhilarating backdrop to the action here. That and the flogging mainsails. I mean, this is a handful, Annie.
It's amazing, and they're doing a great job staying close to each other, but if you see that mainsail, as you mentioned, Dobbs, it's just flogging, barely working at all. In fact, normally when we see that happen, you just see the front part of the sail not working, and both of those boats right now have actually left up into the wind. Neither boat appears to be moving. Now they're going back down. They're slowing down for each other. They're getting close to the top mark. There they go, flogging their mains. Interesting.
Well, I think Sehested wanted to make sure that Anna was not going to get close enough to get an inside overlap at the zone. So Sehested just did a little luff there to make sure that Anna was to windward, and then as he bore away, break the overlap, make it clear that she wasn't going to have any rounding rights.
There he goes. He's around the top mark, and Anna needs to tack and go. Actually, he's grabbed the mark. He's carrying it with him.
Oh, no.
The mark is attached. And that's, you know what? It only counts if you hit it if the umpire sees it, and there's no way they don't see that.
Yeah, we got it, mate.
What to do? He can't get it off the boat, and Anna still has to round that mark.
Yeah, so Anna actually has to go around the Danes who
There
are
she
towing
goes.
the mark. She's got to go
going
around
slow
them.
enough, I believe, that she's going to be able to make it. And as she rounds Nikolai Sehested and charges to the finish, he still has an outstanding penalty, plus obviously
Well,
he has a penalty.
He's got
for
another
hitting
one,
the
so
mark.
as soon as he shakes that one off, Annie, he's got to do a turn.
Yes, he does, but
This is
I'm not
insult
sure
to
how
injury.
He's gonna get that off. There must be something down there really, really stuck. Okay, he got it off finally, and I hope they're having at least a little giggle about that up there. I'm not so sure. That'll be good to ask later. Here he goes back.
I'm going to get Scotty's perspective, just to have it different.
And I'm not sure why he's heading back, other than he feels like he has never really rounded the mark. There he goes again. A try for rounding it one more time.
Okay, I'll throw it to Scotty. So, Scotty Dixon, how about that mark towing out there?
Yeah, very unfortunate for the Danish team. They had a 2 to 3 bow lengths lead over Anna Tunnicliffe, and they tacked on to port, and I'm not sure if Nikolai Sehested was in 2 minds maybe, but all of a sudden he was going pretty slow on board, and then he realized he was a little too close to the mark, and then all of a sudden he was just wrapped all over it. So fully ensnared in the mark, sat there, and the umpires just gave him another penalty, Dobbs, because he hit the mark a second time. So the Danes just spinning themselves dizzy out here at the moment, Dobbs. In the meantime, Tunnicliffe almost at the finish line, and the Danes still at the top mark, and still with one penalty outstanding, Dobbs.
Well, thanks for that, Scotty. It looks like it's over for the Danes. And now Anna Tunnicliffe taking her point. Well, do we know what that's brought her up to, Annie?
Well, in this flight, we had Buckley, Tiller, Jury, and Tunnicliffe as winners. Actually, all of those boats entering on starboard. Not that that made a big difference. I don't have the overall standings, but if you give me about 15 seconds, I will.
Actually, as soon as I peel the paper away through all the rain-soaked layers here, I will be able to answer that question. But Anna thus far has struggled a little bit in this round. But yeah, in fact, no, she's up to 6 points. So 6 points now for Anna Tunnicliffe. That's going to help her along through the competition and keep her hopes alive for getting into the semis. So with the conclusion of Flight 5 here in the second round robin of the Grade 2 Invitational here at the Chicago Match Race Center, I'm Dobbs Davis with Annie Gardner, Scott Dixon on the water. We're going to take a brief break, try to dry out a little bit through the rain squall, and bring you live match race action back for Flight 6.